Welcome to the White Wizard Wavespell. This is the second Wavespell or 13-day cycle of the Zolkin of 260 days, within which there's 20 cycles of 13. So we're on the second cycle. The first cycle we just completed was 13 days of the dragon, which is all about birthing the new. And now with the Wizard Wavespell, the wizard is very shamanic. It's very receptive. It's very feminine. It's about just receiving, being open, being anchored and receptive to the new. So shamanic, if you imagine the shaman is open, receptive. In our colonized world, there's not a lot of space for that. And it's put on a pedestal and treated with woo woo wow wow. But the reality is, it's a very, with indigenous people, it's a very accepted process. And so if we peel back our colonized minds and become super receptive to what is naturally occurring, there's a natural receptivity to the cosmos, to new energies coming in from the cosmos. The last day of the dragon wave spell was called Red Cosmic Skywalker, guided by the earth, which meant to awaken and open and explore and be available. And if you think about a mother giving birth, it's right at the end of that birth process when she has the baby, and there's the joy and the sharing and community, and then just this incredible presence of amazing awakening of the miracle of birth and the evolution from mother to mother, family to family, genetics to genetics of where does this consciousness come from. And that's the Red Cosmic Skywalker, the last day of the dragon wave spell, that leads us into that deep receptivity to receive, to understand that we are one with the cosmos. We're not these separate little islands. So where does this all come from? So this is the shamanic cycle. It's to be receptive, to be open, to be anchored. The second day of the Wizard Wave spell is the day of the blue lunar eagle, guided by the hand. And so if you imagine you're being receptive, and that's happening on the spiritual plane, so there's 4 planes through which we experience: spiritual, physical, emotional or mental, time, life, sense, mind. So the second day of the cycle goes from spiritual, the first day, to physical. So we're receptive on the spiritual plane, and then that gets anchored inside the physical container, lunar eagle, to have physical space to understand what this new energy is going to accomplish. So needing physical space. So if you think of a shaman, the shaman doesn't live in the village, it lives outside of the village, preferably up high, so they can perceive and see what is going on in order to know what to bring healing, new energy to. Then the third day of the cycle is called Yellow Electric Warrior, and it's guided by the sun. So this is the warrior, is the intelligence. The electric tone is to activate, to create spark, electricity, to activate the emotional intelligence of independence, of questioning what is received, questioning. It's guided by the sun, so the light, to question fear, the fear of receiving new energy, and then allowing light to activate. That's the third day of the Wizard Wave spell. The fourth day is the mirror image of the last day of the dragon cycle. So it was Cosmic Skywalker we spoke about, guided by the earth. Now it's self-existing. The fourth day of the new cycle always mirrors the 13th day of the last cycle, and it's the mirror image. So it's self-existing. Number 4 works on the mental plane. Earth, guided by the Skywalker. So the earth is to listen, to understand with the mind the cycles, the evolution of cycles from the past, and allow them to open and explore those cycles of the past, to understand where anything got blocked in order to awaken it, in order to allow it to keep moving forward. That's the fourth day of the wizard cycle. That is what a shaman is doing with the mind is to explore the patterns. You know, if you're in a ceremony with a shaman, they're going to be tuning in naturally to, you know, without trying. It's just a natural, this is what naturally occurs, to whatever patterns are stuck in, whatever programs have got stuck. And how to then, number 5th day, to the power of the sword, of the knife, to cut away what is no longer real. And it's guided by the World Bridger to surrender, to let go, to cut away what is no longer of an endless order that is revealing a disharmonic, and that gets cut away. In order to allow a greater freedom, a greater surrender, a greater let go, and that's the 5th day of the cycle. The 6th day is then called Blue Rhythmic Storm, which is catalyzing all that energy on the physical plane, allowing the shift of, you know, everything that gets cut away just becomes freewheeling energy, organizing the physical reality for balance and equality through allowing a lot of energy to transform the physical cells, the physical body, the physical reality, the storm, you know, on the physical plane, that then allows a greater, comes to number 7, the 7th day of the cycle, called the Yellow Resonant Sun, guided by, I think it's guided by the human to choose the free will, to choose resonant, to become a tuning fork, to resonate. The 7th day is the center of the 13, 6 on either side. So it's like a tuning fork. It works on the sense plane, on the emotional plane. The resonant sun, to resonate, to attune, to become the tuning fork of light, of choosing, to tune into choosing the free will, my choosing from my wisdom to tune into the greater light, to receive that light, to channel that light, to be a channel of the ancient light, the ancient wisdom, especially those ancient wisdom systems that are working with the sun, such as the Mayan calendar and the Mayan dream spell and anything that works with the Zolkin. So that's Resonant Sun. And then the 8th day of the cycle is called Red Galactic Dragon, and it's integrating the birthing of new thought, new consciousness that is guided by the Serpent. So it's the limbic brain, integrating new ways of thinking, integrating new ways of thinking that ensure our survival. So Red Galactic Dragon, and it is... integration means to walk the talk, to begin to walk and live a new way. This is the way of the wizard anchoring down into us. And then the next day is the white solar wind, is guided by the mirror. So again, the mirror comes in, and the white solar wind is to realize the messages. Wind is to channel, to bring to be open to receiving the messages of spirit coming through with sword, with the clarity. This is a really amazing place to call in Archangel Michael and any of the archangels if you are in that way inclined. But solar wind, guided by the mirror, Bolon Ik, to realize the truth and be a voice for that. Be a voice for truth that cuts through the bullshit, basically. And here, you know, Bolonik, I'd like to just acknowledge Loidina Guayas, who was the mother of the dream spell, the one that helped to bring that to the world. She was White Solar Wind Bolon Ik. So that's the 9th day of the Wizard Wavespell, and then the 10th day, which is the day of manifesting, perfecting and producing on the physical plane, is the blue night, guided by the monkey, and it's blue planetary night. And that is the perfection, the production and the manifestation of shamanism. And the blue night is what lies in the dreaming, in the collective unconscious, not what's on top, not what we see on top, but what is held deep within the earth, which is the dreaming of our planet of abundance for all beings. And as you tune, as we become this receptor, as we become this anchor, which is actually, you know, the cycle that the whole earth is in for 13 years, this shamanistic receptor divine feminine cycle. So the manifestation of that, which will happen for us, we're on the 3rd year of this cycle now, so it's another 7 years away, 10th year, but now we will be doing it in 13 days. It's fractal of a fractal of a fractal, cycles within cycles within cycles. It's the manifestation of receptivity, which allows us to then be much more sensitive to the elementals, to the energies of the plants, the energies of the rocks, the energies of the metals, the energies of the earth, which ensures abundance when we're listening to that intuition that's connected to the crystal core of our earth, that has, the earth has her contract of abundance for all beings. So as we attune our intuition and acknowledge that we are her children, and that everything we eat, drink, wear, drive, everything comes from her abundance, and begin to play with that, begin to lightly dive deep underneath into what is, especially if we, you know, in our unconscious we place a lot of fears. So the willingness to go into the cave and face the fear, underneath all of that is just pure abundance. So you know, the sooner you do that and go deep and access the depths, you know, that just leads to greater and greater love. So face the fear, yeah, go there. So anyway, then we come to the 11th day of the cycle, which is called yellow spectral seed. And this is the liberating of that abundance on the sense plane, which is the seed. To grow up and out of the darkness is the seed that is the liberation of receptivity. So we're liberating receptivity by focusing on the higher potential of what we can flower and grow into, and the feeling of that. So that's yellow spectral seed. Then we'll come to the 12th day of the cycle, which is red crystal serpent. And this is again the limbic brain, guided by the red earth, guided by synchronicity to highest level of mind crystal, the crystal capacity to operate with other mind, community instinct, community survival by listening for the synchronicities of the earth, becoming aware of the cycles of the earth that reveal to us the timing of survival for community. Especially important for us to begin to listen to this at this time, because it is in community that we will survive. So then the final day of the 13-day cycle is called the White Cosmic World Bridger, and that's the 13th day. Is always, you know, we come from spirit, we return to spirit. So we go the spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, emotional, mental. We come from spirit and we return to spirit, and that's white cosmic world bridger, to surrender, guided by the heart, guided by the dog, to the absolute heart, that we are all love. But the only way to do that is to surrender into the shadow, into all that is denied. Surrender into just becoming one with the ocean, understanding within that hurt people, and that we are all love, but surrendering into the deeper we all surrender, the deeper all the hurt gets healed. The deeper we understand that we are all one. We are one with everything. We are not separate. So a lot of the time we will project our own shadows onto others. So the Cosmic World Bridger is basically encouraging us to, whatever we feel is ours. You know, there's a part of that in us. You know, we are all, and we are everything. And so the more that we receive that, the more we can go into complete and unconditional love. The more we are connected with all things. Then that leads us to the next step, which we will go into in the next video, which will be the blue hand wave spell, which is all about healing. So once we accept all the shadows and receive them, then we are able to move forward into knowing what we are here to heal and accomplish and know. So blessed be, dear hearts. I hope you've enjoyed this little journey, and yeah, I'll see you again on the blue hand wave spell. Blessed be.